This morning, the Travs' future in North Little Rock is secure, and the new deal opens the door for even more events at Dickey-Stevens Park.
Plus, a new order by President Trump would change the way childhood vaccines are recommended. See why doctors say they have serious concerns.
And Arkansas's first Buc-ee is almost ready to open, but the biggest challenge may not be inside the store. The opening expected to bring a major change to roads around it. Well, thank you for joining us this morning on THV 11 Morning News, streaming on your TV with THV 11 Plus. I'm Hayden Balgavy.
And I'm Karen Fuller. Let's get you to meteorologist Tracy Bean and a first check of the forecast. Tracy?
You over there?
We're moving?
I'm here. There I am. There I am. We are starting out this morning again warm, talking about heat, and that's going to be really the weather story for the next, I would say, week to week and a half. So it is going to be hot out there again today. We're talking about a heat advisory, very similar to yesterday, but I think temperatures are going to be up just a little bit, and that feels like it's going to be up as well. So from noon until 9 p.m. today, we are looking for that heat advisory. And as far as what to expect, well, take a look at this. We're starting out this morning into those mid to upper 70s in good portions of the state, even a few areas already seeing 80 this morning. Looking for that high right around 100 degrees here in central Arkansas. And we're seeing lots of those areas that are right on the cusp of that as well. Still looking to be pretty hot there through the River Valley as well. Fort Smith possibly seeing another record day again with those triple-digit temperatures. And that heat index again is going to be very warm all throughout the state. So I think by the afternoon we could even be pushing much higher than 105, even closer to 110. So we're going to have to keep an eye again on those areas. We're going to start to see again those temperatures going up, and although we are going to see that ground being very dry, that means the temperature's going up, but there's not a lot of moisture for humidity. So it's kind of what we're riding that line there again between heat advisory and extreme heat. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it regardless. Again, it's going to be very warm, and we may challenge a few of those record highs as we're heading into the weekend.
Happening now, the North Little Rock Travs are staying at Dickey-Stevens Park.
The team and the city reaching a new 20-year lease agreement Monday night to keep the Travs in North Little Rock through the 2046 season.
The Travs and their ownership group, Diamond Baseball Holdings, say the deal will help expand the ballpark's role as a year-round community venue for more than baseball.
The team points to recent upgrades, including a new LED video board, LED lighting, and an indoor batting cage. That's also being used by the Arkansas Travelers Youth Foundation. The deal comes after the City Council debated how millions of dollars in repairs and capital improvements should be spent.
Some members wanted some of the money to go toward improving the area around the stadium, but Mayor Terry Hartwick says many of those concerns have already been addressed. After
a short back and forth, the council voted to approve the 20-year lease. Now to a THV 11 update in the case of Joseph and Kendra Duggar as they move to change their pleas in their Arkansas case. The couple withdrew their not guilty pleas to 8 charges, 4 counts of second-degree child endangerment, and 4 counts of second-degree false imprisonment. They're now asking the judge to accept pleas by order, which could lead to guilty or no contest pleas without a court appearance. The judge will decide whether to accept the pleas and whether the couple faces jail time or other penalties. Each could face up to 8 years in prison if convicted on all 8 counts. Protect Our Rights is now asking the Arkansas Supreme Court for permission to join a lawsuit against Secretary of State Cole Jester. 7 Arkansas voters filed the original lawsuit last week, challenging Jester's decision to reject the group's petition submission. Protect Our Rights says it should be allowed to take part in the case because the group sponsored the proposed amendment. The state Supreme Court has until August 20th to certify measures for the November ballot.
President Trump is hailing his new executive order on childhood vaccines as a major victory for parents and religious rights. The order reduces the number of vaccines recommended for children under federal guidelines, but top medical groups are pushing back, calling the move disheartening and dangerous. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn breaks it down.
President Trump's new executive order reverses decades of childhood vaccination guidelines.
Vaccinations for hepatitis B, COVID-19, and influenza, among others, are no longer recommended for all children.
The order recommends reducing the number of childhood vaccines from 18 to 11, and it advises states to separate the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine into 3 shots to be given in separate visits when possible.
Decades ago, children received only a small fraction of the vaccines required today. In those times, people were much healthier, and of course, the high rates of autism now observed did not exist.
But in research conducted for decades across multiple countries and on more than 5 million children, there's no evidence the existing childhood vaccine schedule poses long-term risk to children's health nor increased risk for autism.
I'm not sure that there is anything that has been as thoroughly looked at as this question about whether or not there is a link between autism and vaccines. And the answer is unequivocally no.
The American Academy of Pediatrics called the order dangerous, while some pediatricians warn splitting up the shots places new hardship on families.
We would wind up starting to see drops in vaccine coverage for families who can't afford to keep coming in.
It is the states, not the federal government, that set school immunization requirements. The new executive order comes as the U.S. faces the worst measles outbreak in more than 3 decades. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
President Trump yesterday acknowledged that the order issues recommendations, not mandates, adding that parents, of course, can still choose what shots they give their children.
The FDA wants food makers to provide more information about the ingredients they use. Right now, manufacturers don't have to tell the FDA about additives they consider generally recognized as safe. A new proposal would require them to report that information. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is supporting the plan as he leads a broader effort to crack down on ultra-processed foods. Several federal agencies are also working on a standard for what should qualify as ultra-processed. Anticipation is growing ahead of the opening of Arkansas's first Buc-ee's, now less than a week away.
But the big opening comes as school is getting back underway too, raising questions about how the expected surge in traffic could impact the area. City and state leaders are already making plans to keep cars moving.
THV 11's Tamer Knight is taking a look at those plans.
The traffic lights are on, the street signs are up, and construction crews are putting the finishing touches on the first Buc-ee's in Arkansas.
It's their store, it's their business, and we're very, very happy they're coming. It's our highway to maintain, so that's how we work together.
Dave Parker with the Arkansas Department of Transportation says RDOT and the city of Benton have spent years preparing for the increased traffic.
Anything that had to do with work on the Interstate 30, we had to have a say in it because that's our responsibility to you, the taxpayer, to make sure it's safe.
Local law enforcement and city leaders are also preparing. They met Monday morning to go over the traffic plan for the grand opening.
All the authorities, state police, sheriff's department, police department, have all met to come up with a plan that will handle whatever situation arises during the grand opening.
Benton Mayor Tom Former says officers will have a heavy police presence on Monday. He says the traffic plan also accounts for the large crowds expected at the store.
2 lanes go to the right, 2 lanes go straight ahead, 2 lanes go to the left. So it's basically a 6-lane exit with anticipation of the traffic that was planned on being there.
RDOT required traffic signals at key points around the development. Multiple entrances should also help keep cars moving in and out of the giant parking lot.
They also required the Buc-ee organization to put in a light right there across the street from right at the Buc-ee's location going in. So there's actually 3 entrances going into Buc-ee's as you come off the freeway.
If you're driving through the area next Monday, expect delays. The grand opening also falls on Benton School's first day of kindergarten, adding more traffic on the roads. In Benton, Tamer Knight, THV 11 News.
And we will be live from the opening on Monday, August 17th. I'll say this, I just went to the one in South Alabama because we're at the beach, right?
Right.
It is a separate whole area town that you gotta like take the exit, go to the right, go in the back. Don't get me wrong, they did a nice job of it. It did not feel crazy congested.
Right.
Having said that, I think Monday is gonna be like Midtown Manhattan at like 8 a.m.
It's going to be something.
It's going to be crazy.
Oh, it's going to be something.
Having said that, I'll be there.
I know. You know, maybe if they like stood at that stoplight and handed out some like, you know, beaver nuggets and like some of those brisket sandwiches or whatever, you know, that would help tempers.
Oh, yeah.
Help
I get
everybody.
it, too. I mean, parents taking their kids to elementary school because you got to go right down that road to the east.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
And then Haskell, you go to the left, Haskell's in school that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Haskell Harmony Grove. So.
It's probably going to take a minute for all of that to settle down. So, you know, what do we say?
Lights
Pack your
matter.
patience.
Get some brisket and just go
That's
with
right.
the flow.
If you can get in to get it.
Oh my goodness. All right.
What's
Well,
the weather going to be like, Tracy?
we are not really going to see a decrease in these temperatures, really. We are looking for that high today, I would say right around 100 degrees, and that heat index is going to be a little bit higher today. I would say we're pushing, you know, closer to that extreme heat warning criteria, which is around 110. So it is going to be warm. It is going to be hot. We are going to see, again, those temperatures really start to soar in a few areas with the kids heading back. We've got lots of kids headed back today again. Pulaski County went back yesterday, and today we've got Little Rock School District, BB, we got Batesville, we got Des Arc, I believe. So tomorrow, Wednesday, this is what it's going to be like in the afternoon. So not really seeing much relief, and this weekend, as I mentioned, we may be pushing a few records. We'll talk more about that and when we can kind of see the peak of this heat, hopefully, and make our way back down coming up.